Hey everybody, welcome back to The Tipsy Ghost. We're your tipsy hosts, Sarah, and Lindsay.
Hey guys.
Hello. You know, Thanksgiving's next week.
Okay.
Yes, I knew that.
And I thought that we could revisit what we're thankful for. So, Sarah.
I am thankful for you guys.
Thank you.
That was a delayed response.
I feel like she's sucking up to us.
Am I?
I think that was genuine.
Okay. My turn?
Lindsay, please tell me what you're thankful for.
Oh, I sound like a jerk if I don't say you guys. Gosh.
Don't feel obligated.
But do it.
I'm going to be all-encompassing and say I'm thankful for family and friends. My people.
Are we your people?
You are my people,
Oh,
obviously.
We're in a
We
big
made the
group
cut.
of people is what she's saying.
Thankful for...
My group of 100 people.
Please, you think
You're
I'm
part of
close
it.
with 100 people?
75 people.
Not even.
Do we make the top 10?
You make the top 10.
Okay.
What is
all
this,
right.
MySpace?
Yes.
Are we in your top 8?
Yes.
Did you kick
Okay.
Tom out to put us in?
I hope so.
Truth be told, I never had a MySpace page.
That
I
does not
believe that.
surprise
Your
me.
parents didn't allow
No,
you. Yeah.
No, I wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
I did, but Facebook once upon a time had a top 10 friends. Do you remember that?
No.
They were trying to copy them.
I don't remember.
It was 2008, 2009.
It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm. What are you thankful for, Boydston?
Oh, thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
I'm thankful for just a few humans.
Okay.
You guys are included in just a few.
Yay.
But I'm mostly thankful for my dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So to honor my dogs, I figured I could tell you guys about a very special dog named Rags.
Okay.
I thought she said that she was thankful for us, but mostly for her dogs.
Nice transition there.
They're elderly. They're not going to be around forever.
That
So
is
they
true.
trump us.
So they have to have their special shout out this year just in case
Because
next
they're going
year.
to die before us. They trump us.
I mean, I
I feel like yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
They're 16.
They are old.
So in their years, they're like in their 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In your years, you're in your 30s.
They're in their hundreds, aren't they? 16 times 7?
I don't know.
100 and 112.
That explains a lot.
It really does. It's really, I have to carry Lucy up the stairs. I have to get her off the bed in the mornings. Brutus belly flops off the chair half the time.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, Rags. We're going to start the story in France. A couple of American soldiers, James Donovan and George Hickman, were out celebrating Bastille Day in a bar in Paris when they literally stumbled upon what they thought was a bundle of rags.
Bung.
A bunghole.
Bungholio?
She hurt.
You just got to entertain her thoughts.
You do.
You can't gloss over it or else she'll lose it.
It's just like a prepubescent teenage boy.
Oh, I think I got it.
You got it out.
You got me at bung.
She wasn't ready.
Okay. Proceed. Ready. Then you had to say bungholio. Now I can think about abuse.
And again, 13-year-old boy.
I still love that show. Okay, I think I'm ready now.
It was not a bundle of rags. It was a dog.
Yes, I got it.
Spoiler alert.
Rags.
I kind of gave that away.
Yeah.
So one of the guys accidentally bumped into the pile with a boot, and the bundle of rags moved, and it barked. So-
Rags don't do that.
Newsflash. It's not rags.
Instead of a pile of rags, they found a stray dog. It was just taking a nap, and they kicked him.
Oops.
So they bent down to pet it to say, "I'm sorry for kicking you while you're sleeping," and the dog ended up following them back to their base. He quickly became Donovan's companion, never left his side, but really the whole division loved him and would feed him scraps whenever they were eating. He was just kind of one of the guys. So he was given the name Rags as a reference to the pile of rags that the men originally thought that they saw. Higher-ranking officials saw that Rags was actually great for morale, but he quickly became more than just kind of a happy afterthought. And the men found that the dog was actually really intelligent, picking up on cues of the soldiers, and they quickly found out that he could function as an early warning system. So it's the war, World War I, and mortar attacks were to be expected. Rags watched as the men would hear the incoming mortar and see them drop flat to the ground and stay very still until it was over. And then soon, the men started noticing that Rags was acting really weird. So they observed him stop what he was doing, lay down on his belly with his little paws out to make him look like he was really flat, and he was completely still. And then not long after that, they heard the incoming mortar, and then they also dropped for safety. So that's when they realized that, of course, Rags has excellent dog ears and senses and could identify the sounds of incoming mortar much sooner than the soldiers could. He had watched how the guys responded and, incredibly, figured out how to do the same, allowing the soldiers extra time to take cover and, inevitably, saving lives. So they started to pay close attention to him, and if Rags went down, so did everybody else.
Rags hits the floor, they all drop.
All the bodies hit the floor.
That's where that song came
Yeah,
from.
that makes
World War
sense.
One.
It's a classic.
Donovan also taught Rags a sort of dog salute that he would end up using for the rest of his military life. Instead of extending his paw out to shake hands, Rags would raise a paw a little bit higher and closer to his head. So it's like a little doggy salute.
I love that so much.
I thought you were scratching your face, but you were mimicking a salute. Okay.
A dog salute.
Dogs.
Yes, perfect.
He raised it up tiny paw.
Donovan was part of the Signal Corps, so he would work on stringing new communications wires and repairing old ones. Amazingly, Rags learned how to spot breaks in the lines, likely by the scent of an open wire, which don't ask me anything about the science, but that's just what they think happened. So Rags would mark any spot that needed to be fixed, Donovan would fix it, and they were the perfect pair. But when the lines were damaged, message runners had to be used. So this involved going into dangerous territory, kind of between battle areas, and runners were often wounded or even killed, or they just couldn't get through tight areas like under fences or between razor wire, things like that. So Donovan was able to teach Rags to carry messages attached to his collar, which is, just as a side note, it's not easy for dogs since they have to leave their master and then continue on with the task, finding some unknown person and complete it and then come all the way back. So it's pretty incredible that he was able to do that. But he's a special dog and quickly picked up the skill and was counted on for message carrying. What's scary is that the dog would have to pass through open areas while being shot at in order to deliver the messages, which is very heartbreaking to me, but spoiler, he's okay.
I figured.
I figured you wouldn't do a story where he's not okay.
I knew you both were very concerned.
I was
Not at
on
all.
the edge of my seat.
Thank you for humoring me.
You're welcome.
Not so much.
In July of 1918, Rags and Donovan and an infantry of 42 men were cut off and surrounded by Germans. Rags carried back a message resulting in reinforcements and an artillery barrage on the Germans, which then rescued the group. So Rags saved the group. And then just a couple of months later, Rags and Donovan were involved in the final American campaign of the war. Rags carried several messages over the course of a few weeks, and finally on October 2nd, he carried a message that resulted in an artillery barrage that started the cascade of objectives that would actually end up ending the war. So a few days after that message, Rags and Donovan were both victims of German shell fire and mustard gas. And Rags had injuries to his right front paw. He lost hearing in his right ear and lost sight in his right eye, and he was mildly gassed.
He's a real soldier.
He is a real soldier.
I mean that.
He probably had his own dog tags.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Donovan was seriously wounded and badly gassed. They were kept together, though, taken to the field hospital, other local hospitals. Rags got actual care in human hospitals because he was a soldier, and he kind of had a reputation at this point. So
How would a doctor know how to care for a dog? Just curious.
It was best guess, I think.
whatever they did, Rags healed very quickly.
Can we please get props for not giggling when you said badly gassed?
Do you
Sure.
see how much we've matured? in 5 minutes.
Yes.
You've done really well.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yeah.
I'm staring intently.
I knew if I looked at Sarah when you said badly gassed, we would both start laughing.
Thank you for not laughing because Donovan got really worse and had to be taken back to America for care.
Oh,
You jerks.
I'm not laughing
Well,
about
you know,
him being hurt.
He was
Gas?
gassed as well.
Badly
gas
gassed.
is a bad problem,
Yeah.
especially bad gas.
He had bad gas.
There it is.
Seriously, though, that sounds terrible.
It was. Soldiers smuggled Rags by train and ship from France to Chicago just to keep them together.
Oh,
So Rags is a celebrity at this point, and they knew that him and Donovan were a pair and they really should be kept together. So they were able to get them together to Chicago, where Donovan underwent treatment at the Fort Sheridan Base Hospital, which specialized in gas treatment.
I bet it was real smelly there.
I don't like eggs just all the
Sulfur.
time.
Lots of noises on that unit.
It's like
so
everybody
sorry.
after their colonoscopies.
Oh, thank you for the sound effect. In case we forgot what that sounded like.
It sounds like gas.
That was a fart. Okay.
Obviously.
Listen, we told her to be proud of how much we've matured. And you made a fart noise.
I didn't say I would keep it up. I did, though, for several minutes.
One step forward, 2 steps back. Here we are.
I'm back on my bullshit. Sorry.
You
Proceed.
You held it in.
You can't hold it in for too long.
Mm-hmm. Rags made his home at the base firehouse while he waited for Donovan to get better, and he visited his master daily. They let him go into the hospital to visit. Until early in 1919, Donovan died. And
Aw.
I'm not going to go into it because it makes me sad, but they told Rags that Donovan died by taking him to his bed where his body was. And it's just very sad how he reacted.
No, I can't even think about it.
So Rags continued to live in the firehouse, and he became a post dog, being watched over by a number of soldiers, until 1920 when Major Raymond Hardenberg arrived at Fort... Oh my gosh, I can't. You guys are taking this wholesome story about a dog, a war hero, and you're turning it into a third grade masterpiece.
I'd say more like 5th grade. Okay. Continue.
Major arrived at Fort Sheridan along with his wife and his 2 daughters. They soon grew to be very attached to Rags, and they adopted him. They all moved to Governor's Island in New York Harbor in 1924, and luckily there, many soldiers from World War I were stationed. And they were familiar with Rags and his story, and soon Rags would travel by ferry to Fort Hamilton, Fort Wadsworth, and the Army Building in downtown Manhattan.
Aw. Just
taking-
like by himself?
Just taking a tour of the town.
Supported by himself.
He just knew where he was going.
Well, I'm not convinced that's wrong. I think he might have.
That
It doesn't say like,
is
oh,
amazing.
the major's daughter took him for this walk every day. It's like Rags boarded a ferry and he went to all these forts.
I told you, he's part human.
Yeah. So he became somewhat of a celebrity around New York, and the Times actually wrote several articles about him. His story was picked up by several magazines. He is a true celebrity. Rags was presented with numerous medals and awards, and in 1928, he marched down Broadway with the same division he helped during the war as part of the division's 10th anniversary World War I reunion.
Good
Can't say
job
that.
pronouncing.
Thank you.
That was good.
It was here that numerous New York politicians and United States Army generals had their pictures taken with this special dog. For many years, Rags would appear by the flagpole at various military bases for the retreat ceremony. And as the flag was lowered and the bugle played, Rags could be seen doing his little doggy salute with the troops. Rags lived for 20 years and was
Dang.
buried with military honors, and he has a monument in Silver Springs, Maryland, near the Major family's home. His story has been pretty carefully researched, and there's a novel written, not really a novel, there's a book written by Grant Hayter Menzies called From Stray Dog to World War I Hero, the Paris
Missed
Terrier who joined the 1st Division.
It should have been From Rags to Riches.
I've been waiting this whole story for that.
Come on. From Rags to Riches.
From Rags to Riches. Call the author. You tell him that he missed an opportunity.
We'll call Mr. Menzies.
Yes.
Petition to change the name.
Yes.
That's the story of Rags, the real true hero of World War I.
I'd like to Google him.
Rags?
I want to see what he looks like.
Okay.
Rags the dog. War hero.
Should be in black and white.
Oh, you know, he reminds me of the dog from Annie.
I was thinking it'd be like a medium-sized dog, but he's small.
I think he's kind of medium. He's like
I'd say medium.
yeah.
Is he a terrier?
He's a terrier.
He's cute.
Terrier that was a carrier.
Carrier for what?
Messages. Were you not listening to my story?
I was thinking like disease. I was like, what? Is that how he died?
The disease of happiness.
I love Rags.
How'd you hear about Rags?
Watching the show Mysteries at the Museum.
Okay.
Oh, I love a wholesome story every once in a while.
Just in time for Thanksgiving.
Sure lightens the mood.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Rags.
Rags is dead, but
Okay. You know, looking at his picture, I don't know how he was mistaken for Rags, but that's okay.
He was probably very shaggy.
that's
when
what I
found him.
think.
But still.
And, they're at a bar, so.
Maybe, okay. They were boozed up.
Mm-hmm.
Happens.
All right.
Happens to the best of us.
Bastille Day, it gets pretty wild and crazy.
I did not know that, but
That's what they say.
sounds right.
I mean, look at how we celebrate 4th of July. I can only imagine.
Aha. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Boydston, for that story about Rags to Riches.
Mm-hmm.
That's better.
Patent pending. Copyright.
Copyright.
Trademark.
Trademark. I'm going to cover all my bases here.
What patent did we submit?
Property of the Tipsy Ghost.
We're working on that one.
We're working on it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this week to our Smorgasbord commuter episode. You can always find us at thetipsyghost.com with our socials linked from there, or send us an email at thetipsyghost@gmail.com.
Please give us a 5-star rating and a great review anywhere you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate it, and it really does help.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We will catch you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.